We're here at the end of the lesson, the reading lesson with Mrs. Metz with Carden Academy Huntington Beach, and we just wanted to do a little synopsis and have her explain what exactly she was doing. So, Mrs. Metz, could you tell a little bit about the Carden method?
The Carden method, we start with small steps. As you saw, as the children demonstrated, first we learn to recognize the lowercase letters. We always start with lowercase first and then do capital. And then we learn to recognize the vowels, the letters that change their sounds. And then after we learn that, we have the capital letters, and then we learn the blends. Blends are when we have 2 or 3 letters together that make our own special sound. And by doing that, you're teaching the children how to sound out the word, how to look at a word. First thing they do is look for the vowels, then they see if there's any blends, then they go and what they do is they will sound out the word, and then they will listen with their ears for a word that they know. And you saw the children demonstrate that.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I saw is that Carden is phonetically based.
Yes.
And that you give them an opportunity to reinforce the sounds and the phonetics in 3 or 4 different ways. I saw that the method of teaching, there's pictures, there's the sounds, and there's your reinforcement to even engage their imagination. Is that correct? When you ask them, for instance, one of the little girls, you asked her, well, what's your favorite pie? And she said pumpkin pie. So you made her think a little bit.
It's the whole thing with Carden is we don't just want to give children a list of words to memorize. We want them to be able to have the tools to be able to take words apart. It's called decoding or sounding out. And by doing that, you're giving children the tools where they're not having to depend on sight reading and memorization, but if they know the letters, sounds, they know the consonants, sounds, they know the vowels, what the vowels say, the long vowel sounds, and the blends. By doing that, you're giving them the rules of how to do this, and they're able to look at the word and figure it out, and then they listen for a word that they know, and then we talk about the word so we have comprehension about what we've read.
Absolutely. So, and also, if they were to see a new word, they could sign it out and they could repeat it, and if they'd heard it, they could possibly even understand what the meaning of it was.
Yes. And as you saw, the children were able to hear what they were sounding out, and they were also able to give you a comprehension as far as the type of cake or the type of pie. So we do this, and we do this with a small group like this. Everybody gets their turn during the day, and this is how this is taught all year long. And the lessons get increasingly more difficult as time goes on, more challenged because of what we've learned. We will keep adding on to this knowledge all year long.
Could you give us the achievement level of a kindergartner at the end of kindergarten? What typically are the children capable of doing?
What we had is I had a teacher that has come in to visit us, and she taught for 25 years in public and private school. And when Mrs. Smith came to visit us, I showed her what we were reading. We were reading our last book as our red book, and that's a first grade part of reading. And so when I was showing this to Mrs. Smith, she had come for a demonstration that she was giving us a science lesson. She was so impressed with the children, how much they knew about birds and the environment. So what I did is I showed her, I said, this is the book that we are in right now. And she looked at that and she was very surprised, and she goes, that would be equivalent to a 2nd grade public school reader. She was very impressed our children had achieved so much in the kindergarten level by the beginning of May.
And my understanding is that at the end of kindergarten, the typical kindergartner has a vocabulary or a reading vocabulary of about 500 words. Is that accurate?
We do a lot of reading and a lot of words we do cover.
Excellent. Well, Mrs. Metz, thank you very much.
Thank you.